Hello and welcome to our Gold participants from around the world. I'm Fiona Lang-Sharp, IBCLC Public Relations Manager and MC for Gold Lactation Online Conference 2016. Well, welcome to Laurie Isenstadt. She's here with us today, and we're just chatting with her about her presentation coming up at Gold. The good news about delivering bad news, how to present difficult information to parents. What a great topic, Laurie. Thanks for being here.
You're very welcome. Glad to be here.
The title is long, but yet it's so important. This information is so important. I can't actually wait to, I think we're going to have a good time, you and I, chatting about this, because on the day I will get to do your emceeing, and then of course I'll get to do your Q&A, and I'm sure our delegates are going to be talking a lot about this, because this happens every time. You know, every time we see a client, I think majority of the time, because mostly we go into a situation that is not going well, correct?
Right.
Yeah. So why don't we start at the top, since I feel like everyone knows you because I know you, but that's just not true. And I want you to have time to introduce yourself. So why don't you go ahead, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about your professional journey.
Great. Thank you for asking. So I am a mother of 3 adult children. They were all breastfed, but I had struggles with my first one, and with the other 2, breastfeeding went much easier. I'm married to Alan for just about 36 years now. I'm born in New York. I'm now living in Arizona, and I have a thriving private practice as in IBCLC for 9 years now, and
Right.
I'm host of a popular iTunes podcast all about breastfeeding. And I'm thrilled to be here to present this topic.
Well, we're delighted, like I said, to have you. And personally, I just think this is going to be, it is going to be such a fun topic, because I know this is a real practical topic as well, that many of us, you know, run into these jams during our time that we're working with our families. So I want to know a little bit about all the changes that you've seen in the last 10 years, Laurie. And the reason I ask you this is because here at Gold this year, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary, which is just awesome and incredible. And we're so appreciative of people like yourself who come to speak, our delegates, of course, that come back every year, and our new Gold members as well. But in talking about 10 years, we're reflective, you know, and we're talking about all the things that have happened and the directions that we're going. So why don't you share with our audience a little bit about some of the changes that you've seen in your time, and maybe some of the things that have even stayed the same, or some of the things that you hope to see changes soon in.
One of the biggest changes I've seen, which is a big part of what prompted my interest in this presentation, is not necessarily the amount of women who are initiating breastfeeding. While that has gone up, what I've noticed is that the amount of women that I'm seeing that have more complicated problems. And so when I first started, I was a breastfeeding educator for quite a few years, and I had got my IBCLC in 2001. And even in 2001 to 2005, 2007, of course I did see complicated problems, but not nearly as complicated as they are. And I have some thoughts about why that is, but the reality is that there are many more moms that I'm seeing. It's a lot more than just basic position and latch. And even when we say basic position and latch, it could be basic to us, and that was the quote-unquote fix for the mom.
Right.
But there is just so much more that's going on now than just that. And even the basic position and latch it could be simple for us, but it could be huge and meant the difference for a mother as far as her being able to continue breastfeeding or possibly not being able to continue. So not so complicated to us, but complicated to the mom. But now it's just so much more than position and latch, and so much more than the beauty of what I really love educating moms about normal newborn breastfeeding behavior. You know, we have those kinds of questions with most of mothers that we see, but a lot more complications that are probably due to babies who are born much earlier who survive, and those moms are breastfeeding, and we need to get them pumping, and there's a whole lot going on with the premature babies and getting moms ready for breastfeeding, and switching from tube feeding or bottle feeding to bare breastfeeding. there's a lot more moms who are now basically who are able to get pregnant and keep a pregnancy when 20 years ago that might not have been happening so much. And so then we have the hormonal issues that are changing their ability to perhaps not make enough milk for their babies when years ago these moms just weren't even be able to become pregnant. So we weren't seeing those issues with only making a partial milk. And then we have moms who have, when I first started, it would take me months until I ran into a mom who had any kind of breast surgery. And now
Mm-hmm.
it's in our daily practice. So those are the things that I've seen changed, a lot of the complicated cases that we're seeing with moms. And as far as the things that have stayed the same, all the beauty and love that I have for breastfeeding are the things that have stayed the same. The moms who are just really wanting to breastfeed have a huge desire. The partner support, I'm just loving that it's staying the same and probably even getting a little bit better with, I think, partners becoming that much more involved in attending classes. But I just think the whole love of breastfeeding has stayed the same, and that's what really excites me and really basically just keeps me in this profession.
Mm-hmm. Wow, I'm just enamored in listening to you because you can hear me agreeing in the background, and I just think, wow, you're so, so right on so many levels there. And it's interesting what you said, like we're dealing with more complicated situations, and it's funny, I haven't really thought a lot about that, but it is so true. It's something that has just become a little bit automatic, I think, and a lot of that's just, possibly maybe because the demand has gone up, whereas in the past, mothers what found themselves with complications post-birth, we weren't hearing from them. So maybe, families, the consumer, the mother, has started to put a little bit more demand on the system and said that, there could be a way around this. So that's why we're seeing those cases. And like you said, with even, with breast reductions and things like that, I mean, it's interesting how that whole parameter has changed as well. So thank you for sharing that. I really appreciate it. But the love of the mother has not changed. The love in her as she looks at her baby and the love of breastfeeding still remains the same. And it was interesting. I was talking to someone the other day, Laurie, and I'm sure you'll appreciate this, but the same as the lactation consultant, her passion is so deep that she feels sometimes like she's the only one, because she feels a little crazy that she wants to be so supportive and, but yet her passion is so deep in what she does. She never wants to let go of supporting those moms. And I
Yes,
just think it's true, right?
absolutely. And
Yeah.
there's one important thing that my mentor did teach me, though, that helped me with that passion and to kind of reel it in when I needed to reel it in. And one of those sayings that she would tell me is that I really only need to work as hard as a mother's willing to work, because otherwise we then get drowned in it, right?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And it's that whole emphasis on working your way out of a job, because if you're working your way into the job constantly, you're overdoing things. Or if that mother doesn't feel empowered, it's where we used to be really hands-on and now we sort of want to be hands-off to show the mom, rather than, actually doing it for the mother, we're actually, showing the mother how to do it. So there's so many
Exactly.
things that I've seen, probably the same as you, over the last 10 years that have changed significantly as the profession has grown, as the demand has gone up, and we're so grateful because that's all, we feel like we were born to do this. That's the thing,
Yes,
Laurie.
yes,
We were born to do this, right? So
exactly.
yeah, it's
And that's
good things.
so, yeah.
Good things and good things to look forward to definitely in the future as well as we keep evolving. So that's wonderful. Well, as we wrap up here, I have one short little question for you that we ask all our guests. And it's just to share a little bit, but don't give too much away to our audience about what you hope to share with our listening audience.
What I hope to share with our listening audience is to be able to give them, even if they walk away with just 2 or 3 simple ways that they have now learned on how to deal with talking to parents when the situation is difficult. And I know that there was a certain point in my career that I realized, geez, I need to learn how to deliver bad news. I need to learn how to do that a lot better because I was sticking my foot in my mouth. I walked away realizing that I can do something better. And so I started to pay closer attention and watch and observe other people that I respected and watched what they did and how they spoke to moms. And I inquired and I did some readings. So I don't want to make anything complicated. What I want to do is simplify the situation and have our listeners walk away with just a couple of tips that they can draw upon the next time they walk into a difficult situation.
Well, that sounds wonderful because I think we could all use those things. You know, it's a constant for us. We're always learning on the job, and there's always situations that present to us that are new and changing, I feel. You know, even when you turn a corner and you think, well, how much more could I learn? But yet every time I sit down with people like yourself and other peers around the world. It's amazing how we're just always discovering new things and new situations. So this to me will be I'm one of my highlights, I'm sure, because I love this type of stuff and just engaging and sharing this information. So thank you so much, Lori, for being with us here today. Lovely to chat with you.
You are very welcome.
Excited to have you, and for our listening audience out there, the good news about delivering bad news, how to present difficult information to parents, presented by Lori Isenstadt. Thanks so much for listening in today, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye for now.